you know what? I'm really not that good at using leftover yarns. I've made one beanie out of my leftover silk mohairs. Leftover silk mohairs, i.e. left mohair. Yes, good start. But that beanie didn't turn out that stunning at all. When you think of it, silk mohair, it obviously has gorgeous materials, silk and mohair, and usually colors also kind of give the best they have in silk mohair yarns. And also I bought those yarns over the last 10 years for some special projects, sweater projects, and the kind of, I would like to think, the mother of these silk mohairs have turned into beautiful sweaters. So I think these leftover silk mohairs really deserve to become something gorgeous. So I really want to make a second attempt with leftover silk mohairs and hoping to make a gorgeous beanie out of my leftover silk mohairs. The first beanie I made using 4 strands of lace weight silk mohair, and I thought, here it is. And while this is like kind of okay as a beanie, I still had higher expectations for it and think I can do better. So I think it would be a good idea to go through together things I would like to improve in my second version of kind of using silk mohair leftover yarns. So the kind of colors I'm using is kind of green, and then gently kind of turning into a more kind of neutral toffee shade, and then starting to turn towards burgundy. So I think there are the two biggest issues with this are that I could have left this kind of a section where there's only like toffee shade away completely, and kind of change directly from greenish to this reddish shade. Like I could have just used like 3 strands of neutral shade together with 1 strand of green shade, and then kind of withdraw that green shade and add 1 kind of strand of a reddish one, so that we wouldn't have this toffee section here at all. And the second thing I could improve here is that I had some balls of silk mohair where I had like 2 strands in a ball. So I was a bit lazy and I didn't kind of separate. I didn't separate that kind of a ball into two, so that I would have only 1 strand. So there are a couple of sections here when I kind of withdraw 2 strands of a certain color and add 2 new ones. So with my next version, I'm definitely going to only withdraw 1 shade and add only a 1 new shade to the mixture. So here I have my 10 years of leftover and and scrappy silk mohairs here laid out on the table. So I was planning to use the kind of pastel shades for my second hat using scrappy and silk mohair, using scrappy and leftover silk mohairs. My kind of silk mohair leftovers fill this pocket, and as I made already one beanie, so I managed to shrank the amount of leftover silk mohairs I have quite a bit. But now the second one I'll be choosing pastel colors. So I have a scale here, so I'm going to make for me the beanie in the largest size, so large adults. So I'm gonna need roughly 100 grams of lace weight silk mohair. So I'm just gonna pick these pastel shades from here, and I'm gonna pick more yarn than the 100 gram because obviously I really want to have some wiggle room in terms of the color changes and not be kind of forced to change color every time I run out of yarn. Now our dog seems to be kind of nesting. Pilvi. She's kind of arranging a nest for herself. So there was some noise coming from her way on the sofa. Hey Pilvi, tuu tänne näin. I'm gonna ask her to come here and leave the nesting side. Pilvi, tule tänne. Tule. Hyvä tyttö. Okay, I still don't have 100 grams. Okay, now I'm close to 100 grams. Maybe I have these. This is actually very variegated yarn, so it's difficult to see, but I was planning to save these for another project. So I wouldn't. Okay, here I have a little bit of green. Okay, and a little bit of gray. I'm going to leave blue ones out of this project. So I have here like beige, light gray, light green, and pinks too. I'm probably going to choose this one to go here as well. Okay, now starting to have 100 grams there. Okay, another gray ball, small gray ball. Okay, now I'm starting to have 100 grams, and I take one of these full knitting for olive balls. So now we're already at 100 grams, and then when I add this, so it goes clearly over the threshold. Wow, that felt a bit like I was in a candy store, but without having to pay anything for the goodies I got. So highly recommend going through your silk mohair leftovers. So I was thinking of starting with these kind of greenish and gray shades. So I think now I've only been kind of making sure that I withdraw only one shade and adding one new shade. So I think it's really working, and the transitions are smooth here. And now I just need to knit maybe 1 centimeter or so, and then it's time to turn the work, because we like to have this neat stockinette stitch side on the brim as well. So if I don't turn the work when I fold the brim, what's gonna appear on top is this reverse stockinette stitch side. So after a centimeter or so, I'll turn the work so that we get a stockinette stitch side of the work appear on the brim too. Oh, now it's time for me to turn the work, and I'm also introducing a new kind of shade too. So this little piece is going to dive into the beanie. So I'm turning the work like that, so that the kind of pearl side is facing me. I'm going to slip the marker. So now the work is turned, and now it's just knitting brainlessly in the round for quite a long time. And I'm actually super happy how this is turning out to be, color-wise. And now I'm just going to start withdrawing the lighter colors and add a darker shades, ending with this one. This will be the darkest shade used for the brim. And now I'm actually anxious to leave. My son's football team is organizing a cafe in a local event, and now this kind of turning has been done now, and I'm good to go and do some brainless knitting in the cafe. I've reached the required length for the brim section, and now it's just I'm gonna bind off the stitches. I'm using Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, because beanies usually are, as this one too, is designed with negative ease, roughly 20% of negative ease. So non-stretchy bind off wouldn't kind of stretch as you put the beanie on. Alternatively, for some of my beanies, I just made a 3-needle bind off here. So I didn't need to do the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off and then sew. So it's a difficult word to me to say. But especially if you're gift knitting, I recommend using the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off and then sew the kind of fold on place, or you could leave the kind of kind of not sew the fold in place at all. Just let the user flexibly kind of fold the brim as he or she wishes. But then if you're making a hat for yourself, then why not use the quicker 3-needle bind off. And by the way, I will link the technique tutorials to the description box below, so you don't have to worry about it if you didn't catch the techniques exactly. So I will put them down here. This is the first time in my YouTube career I'm doing like this, so. But now I've bind off my stitches and I have the tail to cut. I've measured roughly 3 times the circumference of the beanie. And now I want to try if I can cut 4 strands of silk mohair with my hands. I think I will. Oh, it was easy, super easy. I thought it would have been harder. And now I'm just gonna pull the end through. And now the most important question: how many sails does that lady have to weave in? How many yarn ends? So we are having here. You can see the amount of tails for the brim section, and for the kind of beanie section, quite a lot there too. But I don't know, I somehow get a pleasure out of weaving in the yarn ends. Don't send me yours though, but I don't know, I kind of get excited. So now I weaved in the ends of the brim, and the sun has really started to shine almost too brightly for filming. So I've weaved in the ends for the brim section, and I think I'm next going to kind of sew. It's really difficult word to for me. Kind of sew the folding in place because I like variability. I can then continue with the yarn ends later. But here you can see how the beanie is looking like. I'm super happy how it looks like soft transitions from shade to shade. And just want to show you my first version to walk you through a certain point. I actually really love these colors and would love to make a better version with these exact shades, but at the moment I probably don't have enough leftover yarns, and I don't want to cast on immediately. But if I will, there's one important point with regards these kinds of colors with higher contrasts and kind of stronger shades. So if and when I'm going to make another version like this, there's one important point that I need to change this, and it's actually very counterintuitive, because as one is working through the beanie, one actually should start using roughly here the color one wants to appear like here, at the lowest point, and then towards roughly here have the colors. Like this section is going to be adjacent to roughly these shades here, so one should actually a little bit kind of reverse the colors for the brim, for it to be I at least would like to have it so that kind of these two shades kind of would be close to each other, and not to have too high contrast with each other. Hei Pilvi, tänne näin nyt. So here there is too high contrast, and I'll by the way I'll have for each size I have the measurements for these kind of sections, so it's easier for you to determine where to change the colors. Now she's safe, and she doesn't feel like she's in charge of the safety of the house. So yeah. So but to make this actually happen, it's going to be super counterintuitive when you're working this. When you're kind of working, it's like, oh, this looks nice, and you feel like every cell is like screaming, like don't change it, like continue. Continue. But if you make a beanie with color changes like this, you will have a higher contrast here. So just want you to keep that in mind. And here it is. My beanie is ready. It's blocked and all yarn ends weaved in. Yeah. I'm super happy how it turned out, and now I know what I'll do with my silk mohair leftover yarns in the future too. I guess it's just now time to say goodbye. Hope to see you on my next video, and in the meantime I'll be on Instagram at Slowknits by Elina, and my patterns are on Ravelry. Bye!